Nob Hill is one of those neighborhoods that looks great on Instagram, but once you live here, it's a totally different experience. If you're looking for nightlife, walkability, coffee shops, restaurants, and neighborhoods with character, Nob Hill is an area to look into. So hang tight, grab your pen and your pad. Let's get into today's video. All right, now let's give you some context. Where exactly are we out on the map, and what can you expect on the reasons why people relocate down to Nob Hill when it comes down to being a newcomer, or maybe you've just lived in Albuquerque for your whole life and you've always desired to live here centrally located on the map. And that's exactly where we're at. We are centrally located to Albuquerque, so everything is well within like 15 to 20 minutes from here. Even the freeway, all the malls, shopping and dining, it's gonna be super close to this area. That's the main reason why people actually like to live here. Not only that, but just being able to walk to a good restaurant, a coffee shop, or just a park, or the UNM campus if you are going to school there, or shoot, maybe you even are working at the UNM hospital. Just being able to walk to work or even ride your bike is super desirable for a lot of people, especially you people that are relocating from major cities. Our public transportation system isn't nearly as good as some of these major cities, but living here in Nob Hill affords you that opportunity to continue to ride the city bus or just get around with ease when it comes down to living in a great neighborhood. Now this neighborhood, some of the houses are a little bit older, so for context, I don't know if you can see, but this house is like super southwest. I wouldn't be shocked if this house was built in like the 1930s or 1970s. Like, these houses have character and they have class, and that's why a lot of people actually relocate down here, because you really can't get that anywhere else in Albuquerque. Everything else is going to be that modern Southwest style look, cookie cutter, and to be honest with you, kind of boring in some cases, because you're not going to be able to get something like this. Like, this house probably has, you know, original hardwood, oak floors. They creak, they make all kinds of noise, and if you're like me, you appreciate that kind of thing. I know you're enjoying learning about Nob Hill, but I wanted to hop in real quick just to remind you that if this is your first time tuning in to the Living in Albuquerque channel, welcome. My name is Eli. Go ahead and hit that subscribe and notification bell down at the bottom here. That way you never miss out on any videos, because I am dropping videos every week talking about what this awesome state of New Mexico and the cities within it and everything that they have to offer. And as much as I love doing these videos, as a licensed real estate broker here in the state of New Mexico, I would love to also help you out with your real estate needs. And that number popping up on the screen here is my direct line. Feel free to call or text me at any time. I'm super excited to chat with you guys. Anytime that you hit me up talking about what it's like living here and how excited you are to move here and call this place home, I get excited too as well. Now, if you're not ready to have that conversation, or maybe you're a couple years out and you just want some quick info, down in the description below is a free relocation guide for you to download to get familiar with the neighborhoods here in Albuquerque, things to do, price points, population count, and so much more. So if you're not ready, go ahead and download that guide. But if you are ready to take those next steps and you are looking to call this place home in the next year or so, feel free to call or text me at any time. But enough about me, let's get back into the video. There's something to be said about the lifestyle here in Nob Hill that a lot of people actually don't touch on. And one of those is that you're gonna get the best of both worlds. And what I mean by that is that usually on some occasions, and especially on the evenings, on the weekends, it can get busy here, and there is gonna be noise, there's gonna be things to do. They do block off the street here, and sometimes during the summertime for Summerfest, and they do have ABQ art walks during the warmer months. So there is gonna be different things for you to do here. Now, on a regular Sunday like today, it's the winter, like there's not gonna be a whole ton going on because it is cold outside. But nevertheless, you're still gonna have people walking up and down the strip because a lot of these boutique stores are open. You have Mascaras y Mas, you have And Stuff, you got, you know, just the coffee shops alone, just coming down here and just having a good cup of coffee, hanging out, enjoying the sun, because when the sun does hit you, I'm in the shade right now, so it is kind of cold in the shade, but in the sun, it's actually pretty nice. Like, I'm wearing a long sleeve and I could probably just rock a t-shirt if I was sitting in the sun. Overall, you are gonna be able to just enjoy a slow pace living here. And in most cases on the weekends, you can get that thrill, that rush. And they do have like slower kind of paced restaurants here, like Matucci's is a nice one because they have both the indoor and an outdoor seating, and it's super rustic. It's an old car shop that they turned into a restaurant. So just the nostalgic feeling of being in these areas here on the old Route 66 is actually pretty cool. Okay, now that you have the context of the lifestyle that you could be living here in Nob Hill, I want to talk about the houses. And for one, you are gonna see this kind of unique thing about Nob Hill. Back in the day, it was a suburban area. It was actually one of the first suburban master plan communities of Albuquerque. It was sold with the idea of getting away from the smoke and the smog and all that stuff. And I don't know what that means into relations of that time. Maybe all the wood burning stoves and fireplaces made the city feel smoky, because nowadays the skies are super clear. So I really don't understand what they were getting at when they said that they wanted to sell this high altitude living. Maybe it was a way of saying that we were gonna offer you a bougie style of living. I don't know, but we're gonna just take that with a grain of salt. Nowadays, when you're driving through Nob Hill, you are gonna see that the houses are older. You're talking about houses that are getting close to about 100 years old. You're talking about homes that are on smaller lots because of that suburban style of living. And you're talking about homes that are gonna need some love and some updating and some renovating. So in most cases, when you do purchase a house here, you're gonna be looking at a little bit more of a build than you anticipate, because you may need to, refinish floors. You may want to blow out the kitchen. You may want to do some renovating and some updating to these houses because they've never been touched, right? Like the HVAC and the mechanical of the house, like those things have probably never been touched. So you're gonna get, wall furnaces, floor radiant heating kind of thing, versus having that refrigerated air and that furnace, just making it a lot more convenient for you and being a little bit more modern on that end. So a couple things to consider if you are planning on living in Nob Hill, and we're gonna touch on the cost of living and we're gonna talk about the prices of homes. So let's get into that. You don't need to be rich to live in Nob Hill. I know, as much as we're talking about being upscale and all this stuff and bougie, I'm gonna be honest with you. Most of the people there in Nob Hill make anywhere from $70,000 to $80,000 a year, which is the average for Albuquerque on a two-person household. When it comes down to the cost of living there in Nob Hill, there's a few things that you can expect. Number one, it's gonna be the average and the same as living in any other part of Albuquerque. It's not gonna change just because it's Nob Hill. There's not any extra tax or anything crazy that you're gonna be paying just because you live in that area. It does get expensive when it comes down to the house that you're buying and your habits, right? Not something that a lot of people think about. And you're gonna have to think about this because, yes, your habits may start to become expensive because you're gonna have all the convenience, all the coffee shops, and all these other boutiques super close to your doorstep, that it's gonna be easier for you to walk down the street and pay for a meal than to actually stay home and cook your own. I don't know, but that's where I tend to see where people are like, yeah, man, living in Nob Hill gets pretty expensive. I'm going to Fang Tang or Matucci's or going down to the boba shop like every day, and my coffee bill at Little Bear has got rung up that they just opened up a tab for me and I just can pay it weekly, right? All jokes aside, guys, when you are talking about living here in Nob Hill, it is pretty average, and just depending also again on the house that you purchase and the types of renovations that it's gonna need, that's how I can see it getting pretty expensive. You're gonna be spending anywhere from $380,000 to $500,000 in a house. Your day-to-day bills aren't gonna be super crazy or drastic. There is also some trade-offs when it comes down to the thing, because you're not gonna be driving your vehicle as much, especially if you do work at UNM or Presbyterian. You can actually bike to work or take the public transportation and just save the bill on that end. You know what I find funny? All the people that tell me to talk about the neighborhoods along Central and Central this, Central that, like, to be honest with you, mildly interesting. And if you know anything about Central and the history about Route 66 and all that stuff, you know that Route 66 back in the day was the place to be, and it was super busy. That's why you see all these businesses all up and down Central, especially starting from like the Botanical Gardens all the way up until Nob Hill. Like that was like the hub, that was the place to be, that was where the university was, and there's all these different things going on for Albuquerque in the different time eras as it was becoming a city itself. One thing that I want you to keep in mind, if you do live in Nob Hill in present day, there's a few things that you're gonna have to deal with, right? With it being the main source for people to use the public transportation system, the ART bus, you can just imagine that there's gonna be people walking up and down the streets all days of the hour, all days of the time. What you should consider is, are you gonna be okay with, a crappy parking situation from time to time? Are you gonna be okay with people parking in front of your house because the crappy situation just pushes, traffic out into the neighborhoods, and there's not gonna be a ton of parking in Nob Hill, especially when those special events are happening and they shut down the street there from University all the way up into like San Mateo kind of thing. Just keep in mind that there are some things that you are gonna have to deal with when you do live close to Central, and that is gonna be that you're gonna have to be more vigilant about your surroundings and the people, and you are gonna have to deal with noise, so it's not gonna be the quietest of areas, and you are gonna have to deal with crappy parking situations from time to time, just because, hey, that's what happens when you live in a popular area where there's things to do, especially in a city like Albuquerque, where anywhere else you wouldn't have to deal with all these kinds of things. But since you are living pretty close to the UNM campus, you are living in the hub where there's a lot of different things to do. There's these, I guess, big city things that you have to deal with. So keep that in mind. Does that make sense for you? So I just don't recommend Nob Hill to anybody. There's a few things that really drive people to relocate to Nob Hill. And that's gonna be somebody or a family that, isn't too big. You don't got like 5 to 10 kids. Maybe you got 2 to 3, right? Somebody like me that is looking to have that convenience factor for all these different things. And you do wanna live centrally located to the city. And maybe you do want a house that isn't gonna be super cookie cutter when it comes down to the thing, and you're okay with spending a little bit more for that character in that class. With that being said, a lot of, retired folk or people that are young professionals that maybe have 1 or 2 kids are actually relocating to Nob Hill because they want those things, right? They want the convenience, they want to be able to walk to the co-op, they want to be able to walk to the coffee shop, or maybe they just want a short drive and a short commute to UNM or the Presbyterian Hospital, and they don't want to have to deal with traffic going back and forth. And plus, some of the better school districts are located here in Nob Hill, and some private schools are located there, Montessori schools and all that stuff. So a lot of people actually relocate to Nob Hill with those things in consideration. People that are looking for like a bigger yard or a bigger home, you're looking for like something that is like 2,000 square feet and above, and just has all these extra features, and these modern features aren't really looking in these neighborhoods. So it takes a unique person to really see the value of living here in Nob Hill, and it's usually a local or somebody that lives in an area similar to Nob Hill right now in a different city, and they just want to be able to pay less for it and just still have all the same things available to them. With the lack of inventory in Nob Hill, there is some struggle with people finding homes there. So a lot more people are resorting to renting a place in Nob Hill because it seems to be more available than actually purchasing a home there. But you can still get a house pretty close to the Nob Hill area where it still makes sense, and you still get all that extra benefits of walkability, restaurants, coffee shops, and the boutique shopping that is really close to your front doorstep. So you may just have to travel a little bit more. When it comes down to finding a rental, in this past year, it's been atrocious for us to help you find those because property managers have just resorted to doing everything online. If you are looking for a rental, yes, I can give you some tools and some good resources, and I can help you determine which area is going to be the best for you, just depending on your lifestyle. For the most part, going on to like Zillow, hotpads.com, and all these different things has been a bigger push and a bigger help, and just submitting that online application has gotten the attention of the landlord or that property manager more so than us reaching out on your behalf. So if you are planning on moving down here to Albuquerque and you're just, wanting some more information, there is a link in the description down below for you to download a free relocation guide. You can learn about all the top neighborhoods, things to do, price points, and all that stuff from that guide. If you do want to chat and you want to get on a quick call, that number popping up on the screen here is my direct line, because as much as I love doing these videos for you, I would love to also help you out with your real estate needs and help you find that next place to call home here in New Mexico. So feel free to call or text me at any time. I'm gonna get on with my day. We got homes to show today on a Sunday. I'm getting kind of hungry, so I better eat before I go. If there's anything that I can do for you, feel free to call or text me at any time. I'm super excited to chat with you and give you some more information if you are planning on making Albuquerque your next place to call home. So I can't wait to chat with you. I'll catch you next weekend. I hope you have a great week and stay warm out there. Peace.